So I see we have many attendees, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the partner webinar, as I said, between Seller Candy and Profasee. Just going to share my screen. If you could type in the chat if you can see it, that would be awesome. Should just look like a forest. I'm also going to open up some windows so I can see all of the questions and the Q&A. All right. Hey, Chad.
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, we're just about to kick off.
Amazing.
All right, I'm just going to start off the presentation. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Welcome. Cool. Thanks for joining us. Anything you want to say before we just dive into it, or should we get going?
No, I mean, I think I want to just be respectful of everyone's time. I want to thank everyone for joining and taking time out of your day to be on this presentation. And let's get started. I'll ask questions. And for sure, if people are in the chat and have questions to ask, I want to make sure people get their questions asked too.
Love it. Yeah. Thanks, Chad. If you keep an eye on it, just chime in if you want to ask anything, or if anyone asks anything in the chat, that would be awesome. Cool. Okay, let's get going then. So in this presentation, I'm going to show you, what we use to beat suspensions, negative reviews, flat file errors, and take you through some other really cool stuff and processes for getting things done in Seller Central. So what we're going to be going over together is how to fix 3 of the most critical Seller Central problems that we commonly work through at Seller Candy. And stay until the end, because we're going to giving you other resources and sharing quickly how you can get things done even quicker. So just quickly at Seller Candy, what we believe and why we do what we do. We believe Amazon should not be about waking up in the morning and immediately starting to fix problems you didn't cause. We don't believe it's about grinding 24/7 or finding out about some secret marketing tactic no one has ever found before, apart from AI pricing automation. You should check that out. And it's not about having some complicated hiring and training process so you can employ a whole huge team of VAs. It's also never about running around in circles after Amazon support, trying to make them fix what should be running right, which completely ruins your focus and takes your eyes off the big picture of actually making money in your business. It should never be about having too much on your plate so you don't have time or energy to hire staff. And it shouldn't be about not knowing what to outsource first, which wastes time that you could otherwise be spending on actually growing your business. So what we're going to take you through today is, I'll show you this one, a little bit about me. I'm founder and CEO of Seller Candy. We've served over 500 clients. Before that, we were an Amazon seller. And I've run Amazon-related businesses for the last 9 years, which has allowed me to speak at conferences and travel all over and speak at events like this. So thanks, Chad, for hosting us, as always. Also allowed me to meet my wife, travel around the world, do a lot of Tony Robbins and everything that we get to do. So let's get started. I'm just skipping over a few slides there because these things don't add value for this presentation. So step 1 is how to solve Seller Central issues effectively. So much faster, more effectively, without setting up intricate systems to get it done. So it's a Monday morning. You have a performance notification. We've all had it. And it's a suspended listing. And we all know who's behind suspended listings, don't we? It's Dr. Bezos. It's one of my favorite memes. All right. And this is exactly about how our agents go about solving a suspended listing. So this is you'll understand this process later on. This is going to seem like common sense when we get going, but I'm going to split this down into kind of a 3-step process. So first step is always to actually raise a case to seller support, asking what they believe it is. So it sounds super basic, but the reason we're doing this is so that we can have a case ID that we're going to jot down that we can use later in this process. So we've raised a case and we've got this case ID saying, do you know what the problem is? Once you've done that, you need to raise another case. And if it's not already enabled in your account, you need to enable your category listing report. So you go to products and inventory, you raise a case and you say, please enable my category listing report. So now you can download it, and that's basically a flat file or feed file for all of your listings. So once you've enabled it in your inventory reports, category listing report will appear just here where it's got the big arrow. And then you'll be able to download it, and it's basically a flat file for all of your listings. So once you've done that, you've got your category listing report, you've raised your first case. If it's a product policy complaint, you need to sanitize your listing. What we mean by sanitize is remove all the stuff from it that Amazon may or may not find offensive, because at least we want to get it back up so we can start adding this stuff again. But the first step is to remove everything that they could even find remotely offensive and then move it back, because usually Amazon's bot has taken it down or something's happened in the Amazon backend. So what you do there is you delete the current content from your category listing report from that flat file. You replace the content with generic or basic, just a basic explanation of the product. That should be a T there. And you upload this bulk file and note the upload reference number. So this is part 2, is you need to have this upload reference number. So when you upload your flat file, upload your bulk file, you need to note down this number, which we'll use later. If it is an authenticity complaint, because we're doing the top 5 issues, this is issue number 2, you need to annotate invoices. So you've got to assume that the person who's reviewing your invoices has never seen an invoice before and is incapable of looking through it and finding what they're looking for. So you need to get it and take a screenshot, put a big red box around where they want to look with an arrow on it, and then explain what it is, especially if something isn't quite the same. So say the name is written in a different way from your product name. If the description is slightly different, you need to say why it's different and what the product really is. So this is where it's super important to have that information. You need to annotate it by marking in red with descriptions and arrows, as I said, and you just upload it to Amazon. So that's the goal, just to upload it to Amazon there. All right, everyone following along? I hope you can type in chat, because we've had no chat messages. I feel like we may have messed up our chat, but if not, you can type in the Q&A box. So you'll see a Q&A box there, and if you type in there, it'll just appear as well, just like the chat messages. So the third type is an IP violation. Who here has had an IP violation? I know I have. Cool, the chat is disabled. Thank you for anonymous attendee. So if you do want to ask any questions, please just type them in Q&A. It doesn't matter if it's a Q&A or just a comment, you can type it in Q&A. So you need to, 1, review the notification of the brand owner. What this means is you're going to have an email, and in that email, it'll say, this is the problem, and this is the person that's raised the issue, and it'll have a real email address. This person, Janet, yes, you can have a copy of this recording. You can then, what you need to use now is use that email provided to reach out to this person and say, okay, I see your problem. I see that you've raised an issue. What's the issue? Can you explain it to me? And you need to track all correspondence. So you're going to reach out to this person. If it's someone who's reaching out in bad faith, then they won't respond to you because they're just being assholes and they're trying to, suppress your product. So if you track this correspondence, this means you're going to have evidence to put together when you reach out to Amazon. So the brand owner doesn't respond after 5 back and forths, and you've got trackable data on this. You've got screenshots of the emails. Now you can raise a case to Amazon with evidence saying, these guys aren't responding to me. They raised an IP complaint. They said it's the thing, but if they're not responding, this is a bad faith claim. Can you guys please reach out to them, figure it out? Because it's not my problem anymore. These guys actually aren't playing ball. All right, that's number 3. We're going through the top 5 at lightning speed. So I'm going to have the slides for you to download at the end. But do carry on taking screenshots and notes, of course. So 4, if it's a product safety issue, that's when you need to prepare a plan of action. I don't know about you, but I've had a product safety issue before, and there was no product safety issue. It was some stupid review that someone left on the listing for a different product, or it was something they'd want to return a product, but they'd just written, it didn't work, or it was dangerous. And then Amazon raises you a product safety issue that you now need to deal with. So the way to get around that is you review the issues raised by Amazon, and then you need to create a plan of action. A plan of action really is just 3 steps. You accept the issue, no matter if it's not a real issue. Arguing with Amazon, there is no right. What we always say at Seller Candy is, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? So we just have to eat it, say, yeah, this was an issue, even if it wasn't an issue. The steps that we've taken immediately. So, okay, we checked this, we did a bin check, we checked the listing, whatever the immediate remedy is, and the plans that will never happen again. So this is what we're doing going forward. This is what we're doing with our manufacturer or manufacturing process. This is what we're going to update on the listing or the box, whatever gives Amazon the warm and fuzzy feeling that they're never going to have it again, even if it's nothing wrong. And then 4, you upload this in response to the case. So upload it, Amazon reviews it. Hopefully they say A-OK, and you've ticked off all the boxes. So you've ticked the acceptance, the immediate steps, the long-term steps that never happen again, and the uploaded to seller support. All right, everyone enjoying it so far? Yeah, thanks, Chad. I can only see you and there's no chat. I'm talking into the ether. And number 5 is Hazmat. So Hazmat's another thing we see quite often. So there are two options you go with Hazmat. Hazmat, either your product is hazardous, so hopefully you know that already, and you've already explored this, so you've either got a hazardous materials report or an safety data sheet from your manufacturer, or it's not hazardous, and you're going, why does Amazon say my product is hazardous? There's probably some keyword in it somewhere. So if it is a hazardous product, you need to upload your safety data sheet from your supplier or your testing. So if you do have a product that's, flammable, gas, whatever it is, you probably know it's hazardous. Make sure you've got your safety data sheet ready just in case it ever gets taken down. If it's not applicable, which is quite often the case as well, you need to go into Seller Support, Seller Central. You search for SDS exemption sheet in the search bar, and then you find the one that's relevant to your category, because every category's got most categories have a slightly different SDS exemption sheet. You then complete the sheet for your product category. You upload it to the case creator by Amazon, and you should be golden. So the question is, what if it doesn't work? You've done this. You've spent the last, I don't know how long, going through round in circles, hopefully pretty quickly because we've given you the process. You haven't waited for Amazon to do this, because if you wait for Amazon to do this, they'll send you cases back and forth for the first week just to get you to this case. But you've done it yourself. You've done it within a day. What if it doesn't work? Well, what you need to do now is a delete relist of your listing. If you haven't done this before, this can be quite scary because, you've spent all the time growing your product. You don't want to delete your listing. But what I would tell you is we've done this thousands of times. And when you delete your product, it's linked to the central catalog of Amazon. So Amazon's central catalog is separate from your Seller Central. So if you delete it in your Seller Central, you don't actually delete it off Amazon's system. It's still in the central catalog. Just make sure you've noted down your FNSKU. So you've got your product identifier. You can always find it later on in your inventory reports, but useful to have it so you can add it back easily next time. You delete it, you wait for 24 hours, you re-upload it, and this hopefully fixes everything, because this is Amazon's #1 way of solving things. But what if you're still having issues? So this is when the real time investment comes in. This is when you need to pick up the phone and you need to call seller support. But when you call them, you don't follow, this is where you need to make notes on this bit because there's no slide on this. You don't follow the exact process you don't follow the process they tell you to. You've got your initial case ID. So you call them up and you say, hey, I've got this issue. They say, oh, we'll raise a case for you. And you say, oh no, touche, I already have that. I have this case ID. Here's the case ID number. Then they'll say, oh, okay, well, what I can try for you is I can try a flat file upload or a bulk upload. And then you'll say, no, I've already tried that. Here's my bulk upload number. And they go, okay, well, if you've done that, then we need to do a delete relist. And then you say, cool, well, I've done that as well. Here's the delete relist. So you've taken the 3 steps that they're going to tell you that they would take, and they're going to spend a week usually going back and forth doing that stuff, but you've already done them in 2 days. So now's the time that you need to stay on the phone and you say, hey, look, I've done everything you've told me to do and you were going to tell me to do. Can you just, forward me on to the team that can actually fix it for me, please? Forward me on to the leadership team. Someone needs to refresh my listing. So stay on the phone and keep there, and eventually they should forward you to someone who can fix your issue, because you've done all the hard work and you've done all the stuff that they would take lots of back and forth on internally, but you've done it in a much shorter time frame. And that's just what we do at Seller Candy. So there wasn't a magic pill. We didn't do anything secret or slip anyone any $100 bills. The secret is that if we can tell them exactly how to solve an issue, then they can follow our process as opposed to us following their process. That's what we do. So breakdown of the process. So we download the category listing report. We make edits, make a clean version, or we follow it. If it's not a product policy violation, we follow the other steps. We delete the listing, we wait 24 hours, and then we upload the flat file again to re-upload it. So actually, that's a good point here. We re-upload it using the category listing report again, so the same file as before. And then we just call them and sit on the phone and don't go anywhere until they've fixed our issue. If you like infographics, here is the same process in 4 pretty pictures. And yeah, so we're flipping the issue resolution process on its head. How about another? Any questions, Chad? Or do you want to, should we continue on to the next one?
I mean, people can drop questions in the Q&A. I have my own challenges that I've had with Amazon Seller Central and support, and you know about those issues. So I can imagine there's a bunch of people on the call who are just hitting a dead end. And the question is like, how do you get beyond the dead end? So what I find is when I call Seller Central, they're just note takers, right? I call support, or even I call Amazon Health and I click on the call me button, and I just don't get people that actually can get the job done, and the follow-up is miserable. So just curious your perspective on that, and how do you work around that? How does your agency work around that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the process I just shared is the main way we get to the best possible point before we call them. And then it's just calling over and over again until we get through to someone competent. So request a call, always request a callback. As you said, request a callback is the best way to get a higher quality inbound.
Do you believe in the myth of calling at 2 p.m. Eastern time, or is it 2 p.m. Eastern time to get people in South America? Do you follow that rule?
I don't think we do follow that rule.
Okay.
But it's good. We can always test the myth. We'll do it 1,000 times and let you know what the answer is. But
I just find like I get better support in South America than I do from India when I call. So we try to aim for that time frame.
Cool. Well, let me know if it works. Like we can always update our process on that. Like, yeah, we just find it's just volume of calls. You know, we do so many calls every day. We have a big calling system, and everyone call. You know, we do a lot of inbound calls from Amazon.
Any other questions here? You can put them in the Q&A.
Yeah, let's move forward, and then if you have anything in the Q&A, we'll have a lot more time at the end to answer anything specific as well.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So let's quickly go through some other stuff. This one's also super useful. So you have an unfair bad review, and we all know who's on the other end rejecting your hard work. It's not Chad. It is Dr. Bezos. Yet again, Dr. Bezos. All right. So this is exactly how our agents go about removing bad reviews. So just quickly, depending on your level and how your experience, there's 2 types of bad reviews. There's bad feedback on your account, and then there's bad product reviews, which you can see on the product detail page. So quickly, how to remove seller feedback. This used to be super simple. It's got a little bit more complicated, but it's still relatively simple. So I thought we'd include it. So you go to Seller Central, Performance Feedback, you find the negative for feedback, and then you request removal here in the button. It used to be that you could just click that, and it would always remove all the feedback if you're an FBA seller, because almost all the negative feedback is to do with shipping issues or product issues. And as the seller, even though you might be the product owner, you know, you're not technically supposed to be the product owner. So it doesn't matter if it's a product issue. The product and the seller account are separate things. So you can request removal if it's a product review, shipping related issue, if you're FBA, or anything in violation of Amazon's guidelines. So it used to be Amazon removed everything, but now Amazon refuses to remove about 30% of these. So if they don't automatically remove it and it is in violation, you need to transfer this to your assistant or yourself if you don't have an assistant, and just keep the case open until they remove it. So just keep kicking the case forward until Amazon removes the feedback. And if you let it close, it takes a much longer time to remove. So the goal is to keep it open and not to let it close. And Amazon will remove it eventually, as long as it's a shipping issue, product issue, or against Amazon's terms of service. All right, product reviews. Who hates product reviews? Negative product reviews, and loves amazing product reviews. So there are 3 main ways to remove product reviews. They have varying issues of success and varying levels of success. It's late here. My brain isn't working as fast as usual. So number one is you can report abuse. If you're going to do this, you need to make sure it really is abuse, as in it's against Amazon's terms of service. You don't want to report things that aren't against Amazon's terms of service. That's how you get into trouble. So you go here, report abuse. Was this review helpful to you? You write a clear reason as to why it's inappropriate. Usually it's not for this product. It's a shipping issue, or it's against Amazon's terms of service. And you click the report as an appropriate button. And that's a pretty simple thing to do. I would say this doesn't have a high rate of success, but worth doing anyway. At the same time, you can then contact seller support about it. So you can go here into contact us, product reviews, and then as the information says on the left just there, you can give it the ASIN, the title of the review, name of the reviewer, and just give it all the information and submit it to Amazon. Basically the same thing you would have given them on the product detail page, but you have more control here because they'll actually respond to you. And then the way that you're most likely going to get the review removed for brand owners is you can actually find the order ID of the person who left the bad review using your brand dashboard. So you get into brand dashboard, you can view messages, and then you can send them one message, only one. So this is when you need to dig deep, figure out what the thing is that you can say to them that will hopefully turn their experience around so that you can actually engage them and fix their issue. If it's a negative player or somebody who is trying to do damage, they're not going to respond. But if it's someone who's actually had a negative experience, a lot of the time you can turn these around. Okay. So, John, in the third person, you told me how to fix some of the hardest to solve issues in my account, but what if I have technical problems during this update? So, when we have technical problems, we're usually talking about flat file error codes. Who hates flat files? I hate flat files. But this is how to get unstuck when doing flat files. Our team does them all day, every day. So here's the secret sauce that you need. So at Seller Candy, these are our top 12 flat file error code names. All of our agents probably know these by heart, but these are the top 12 error codes. And we have some definitions here. So if you want to resolve any of these error codes, what I've done is I've downloaded our official SOP from Seller Candy and just given it you here as a download. So if you want our SOP of how we solve everything, literally it's in this download just here. Use your phone, scan the QR code, and you can download it. So you need to check the attached document, and then we have detailed steps of what to do to troubleshoot each one of these error codes. And then you can celebrate that you got flat files to finally work. I was going to break it down, but it would have taken about 2 hours of me just talking super technical problem solving. So this is just an example. You received an AD32, child SKU already assigned to a parent SKU, and you just basically run through the steps. You use the wizard, you review all active marketplaces, you then delete the ASIN using the inventory loader file, and then re-upload it. When it's time to relist, you upload using the flat file. And this is the error problem solving. So it's 5 steps, just follow the guide, and it's our kind of gift to you just for being at this webinar of something that you can use as a tool going forwards. I thought this is one of the most valuable SOPs that we have. So I thought it was just a cool download to share. Cool. Oh, sorry, I'll go back.
You go back, yeah.
Yeah, let me know what you think when you've downloaded it, Chad. So, is this helpful? I hope so. All right, let's continue. Right, we're more than halfway through, and we have time, which is awesome. Cool, perfect. All right, so part 2 is getting expert support without the drama. Because, now we've figured out how to solve certain things. I always think the next step after that is, how do I not need to do it myself? How can I get someone else to solve these things? Because they're just a drain on energy and time, and they don't add value to the business. They add massive value to the business, but they don't add value to the growth long term of the business. So our big ethos at Seller Candy is that assistants must be experts. What that means is anyone that we're employing on our team should be better than us at something. Whether they're admin and they're fixing things, whether they're PPC, they're great at that, whether they're doing AI pricing and they're great at that. Well, whoever they are, they need to be able to fix things better than us. Otherwise, we're always going to be the person looking over their shoulder and telling them how to do it. So usually when people are looking for assistance, they might go to Upwork, or team members, they might go to Fiverr, Indeed, Monster. We've seen all these, but we don't think it's ideal because you've always got to hire and train real employees. And if you're hiring someone just to do these issues, like solving all the basic stuff you hate doing on seller support, you're constantly asked for guidance. Problems don't get solved because they're only going to be trained as well as you are. You can't trust them to take care of your livelihood, so you check everything they've done. And this is just a waste of time and energy and money hiring and training these people, which isn't getting the job done. Which at the end of the day is opportunity cost. None of us want to be sitting in the same place we are now in 3 or 6 months' time, doing the same thing we're doing now, just because we're stuck in the cycle. So what you need someone you can reliably take care of the busy work so that you can focus on growth. Here are some amazing reviews of Amazon seller support. If any of us had businesses that had reviews like this, I think that we would close down or cry. This is our favorite one, was Sign Up for Ulcers, from one of our marketing managers in the past. So the question really is, how can you get a team that you need without hiring a full-timer who knows your business inside out? And how can you access to real experts and still have it be affordable? Our answer to that is experience and numbers. Having access to a larger team of well-paid people that your business can reasonably afford. It's good for you because you get access to a team of real experts with a deep understanding of Seller Central processes. You eliminate the need to source, hire, and train people to manage the back end, and there's no need for oversight, so you can trust that it gets done. And it's a scalable solution, so your team can grow as you grow in your business. Okay, so step 3 is, how do you know what to give your team or assistant? This is a big question that we always get asked. Well, I've got an assistant. How do I know what to give them? And am I going to have enough to give them? How do you know what I should be doing? And how do I know what someone else should be doing? So what we do and what we suggest you do, so I'm going to take you through the process so that you can do this to your own business, is to do an Amazon Seller Central gap review. And at the end of the day, the gap is the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. And this gives you like an overall view of the business, 30,000 feet, that you can do for yourself to figure out where you are and where you want to be. So what we want to do is evaluate all aspects of your Amazon presence to provide you the logical steps to take you from where you are now to where you want to be to smash your revenue goals. Gives you a fresh perspective and an unbiased view of what you're doing right now. And then you can use our triage system, which just means multiplying things together, to let you know which changes are going to make the biggest impact in the fastest time for the lowest cost. Okay, everyone interested? I will take you through our gap system. So step 1 is look at the current state of your business. So get a Google Sheet, put different columns on it, different titles, and start working through your business systematically. First, you start with Seller Central backend. So you go through, you look at all of your settings, you look at your FBA settings, you look at your advertising settings, you go through every section of Seller Central, and you go, oh, that's not quite right, I'll note that down. Then you go through your listings. So you look for listing errors, that the back end reflects the front end, so changes are propagating, that all of the links work to your storefronts. You just go that all your images are right, your videos are right. If there's missing videos or missing images, you add them on, and just make sure that all listing errors are taken care of. You then go through your marketing. So you look at an overview of your marketing, go through step by step. You look for buy box suppressions. So quite often if you've got a large catalog, so sometimes you have buy box suppressions or a lower than 100% buy box percentage. So look at your buy box suppressions, see if there's anything on there, see if there's anything that can be fixed easily. Look at account health issues. So look at your account health score, look at anything that's been raised in the last 6 months, look at voice of the customer, go through everything. And then look for expansion opportunities. So is there anywhere that we're not taking advantage of? Have we enabled North American remote fulfillment, the NAF program? Are we looking at Europe, and is this product got an opportunity over there? So what are the expansion opportunities in your business? This should give you a big spreadsheet of stuff you can work on. And now you're great. You've got all this stuff you can work on, but you're overwhelmed because you've got all this stuff that's wrong in your business. And if you're running a business, there's always going to be more stuff wrong than you can fix. So it's always about us prioritizing what's first, what's important, and what doesn't really need to be fixed. You know, the quality of your life is the size of your problems, as they say. So step 2 is to judge impact. So we've listed everything out. We then go, how much difference will this make? So we look at each section from element 1, point by point, and we evaluate what's going to make the biggest difference if changed, and then how much impact it's going to have. So scale of 1 to 10, which is going to have the biggest difference and which is going to have the biggest impact. This takes the stress out of knowing what you should be working on, because this gives you, okay, this is massive impact. But we then have to go through a cost-time analysis, because we're going to have to figure out, okay, how much time is this going to take? Because we could say, oh, right, I could expend my entire catalog to Europe. Great, that would have a massive impact potentially. But how much is this going to cost and how long is it going to take? Well, that's also probably a pretty high number. So we estimate the approximate cost and time. Then we check this against impact, because there's no point throwing lots of time and money against something with low impact, or you might find stuff that's super great because it has a high impact and low time and money. And then these are the quick wins that you can just be firing off to get quick results. And this brings us to the final element, priority. So you need to look objectively, not objecting, at your listings and prioritize what should you be working on right now? What's going to make the biggest impact with the lowest cost, time, and effort? And this is the same process that we've used to help consulting clients make profitable decisions for the last 5 years, and you can use it too. We actually take all of our new clients at Seller Candy through this process, because it's one of the easiest ways for us to generate a massive list of stuff for them to give us when they start working with us. If that makes sense. Just a great way of us showing value. So when you use the gap system to review our Amazon presence, you get a fresh perspective on where you are now. You get steps which you will take to get from where you are now to where you want to be, and it can create a huge impact in your business if you follow this plan. All right, so we've actually got through this even faster. So this only 35 minutes. Usually it's about 40 minutes. And because you've spent all this time listening to me, and you may have a question which you couldn't ask because of the webinar chat not working, how would you like a personal one-on-one session to review how you could apply this to your business, whether it's you've got a problem or whether it's the process I've been through just now? So I'm opening up 12 spots with the Seller Candy team where you can talk about anything. Like, could be a technical issue, could be your team, it could be anything going on in your business, because our team are really experts at solving basically anything going on in the back end of Amazon Seller Central. When we did this last time, we found one client who had a suppression with tens of thousands of dollars in sales missed that they had totally given up on, and that they couldn't figure out. And we got that solved in 3 weeks. Another seller had missed a bunch of inbound shipments. I think it was like $7,800 that we just found in their account just on this call. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We always find something, money that sellers are leaving on the table. And I'm sure that you probably have revenue leaving on the table as well, that you just don't know where to capture. So we're going to help you find it in this session if you take up one of these sessions. Normally, these are $497 for a 30-minute session. But we're going to give it, for the first 12, we're going to give it to you for free. So because you came on here and because Chad helped us promote this webinar, we're going to give 12 people a free session with our team. I've set up a special link for this, which we can also type in the chat. It's sellercandycall.com. And please don't share this link. This is actually a special calendar, and I'm serious about that. It's a special calendar just for this call. I will type in the chat as well. That this is calendar just for this call. So please feel free to check it out. So we do have a few minutes. We have about 10 minutes where we can take some Q&A. And this is where we can do anything you want. We can dive into Amazon issues. We can talk about team building. We can talk about whatever you want to, really. And we're going to, any questions that come through the Q&A, we'll answer them as we go. So we have a question actually that was submitted beforehand via email, which was, I have a suspended listing. Can I ask your team about that? Or can you team support with that? Yes, we can support with those things. We actually already jumped on a call with this person. But if anyone else has a question about suspended listings, feel free to take us up on the call and we can talk about that. If you don't have a problem right now, our experience is that you probably do have a problem right now. Not that we're pushing problems on you, but we always find problems. Yes, so we have a question. Does this only apply to FBA, not third-party sellers? If you mean that you're fulfilling by merchant, then yeah, we can, basically anything happening through Amazon Seller Support, Seller Central, or Vendor Central. Our team are total experts on Seller Central, Vendor Central. We've solved over 100,000 tickets in the back end of Amazon. We've been doing this 4.5 years now. And most of our team are ex-Amazon Seller Support agents. So the way we find the best people is we hire from Amazon's own pool of agents, and we hire the good ones. So hopefully we're not too responsible for the degradation in Amazon's support quality. But no, we hire people once they've left, once they want to work from home, once they want better working conditions, and we take the self-motivated ones. So yeah, it applies to you if you're a third-party seller selling on Amazon's marketplace. Is the answer to that question. Another question, what issues do you solve at Seller Candy? That's a good question. So we solve basically anything you can raise a case about at seller support. So whether that's creating flat files, raising a case, calling support, arguing with Amazon, basically anything that we can do, anything you raise a case about. We actually have a full menu on our website as well. Or if you book a call, then we'll take you through that. Victoria, any tips on correcting a UPC? Yes, so if you need to correct your UPC or your unique product identifier, there's a process to do that. So feel free to book a call and we'll take you through it. The basic overview of the process is you'll need your certificate from your UPC provider. So whether that's GS1, whether that's usually it's GS1, or if you bought it off a third-party website, then you'll need the certificate from them, and then you'll need to prove ownership of this product so that you can then move it across to the new UPC. This is possible sometimes, depending on your current situation and what you used previously. So this is actually one that it really would be valuable to dive into something on a call about, because it really depends on your exact specific situation. But that's the basic process. You need to prove ownership, prove you're the brand owner, so that you can move things across. Jay Lan. So there is really no way to get dramatic reviews removed, i.e. this doesn't fit 1 star, even though sizing guides are readily provided. People just don't, this sucks, doesn't it? People just don't use them, especially in the baby space we're in. Wishful thinking. Yes, to be honest, I think you're right there. There's no way to get them removed. There is a way of updating the listing to highlight these things, specifically call out if there's too many of these reviews, call out as a bullet point or as an image, even to highlight negative reviews and be like, this is a negative review, this is why it was there, and this is the way to make sure it's correct. I mean, I've got a baby on the way. Chad has more babies. And I'm sure from my friends who've already got babies, sizing is all over the place, depending on how big the baby is and you need to kind of measure it rather than go with the age in the clothes. Yeah, I feel your pain, Jaylan. Do we do one-off tasks? That was another question we got about Seller Candy. Yes, we do one-off tasks. So there's two ways that we work with clients at Seller Candy. One way is that we do one-offs. What that means is we'll jump on a call with you, we'll figure it out, and we will, basically help you do one thing. Another thing is ongoing support. So think of us like you're like an amazing virtual assistant that you don't need to manage, hire, or train, because we have our own project management software. You can just dump what you want to happen in there. We do one thing after another, and we just solve. We're totally outcome driven. So rather than giving something to sell support and going back and forth, you tell us what you want to happen, and then we just take full ownership going forwards. Can you share a link for that flat file fix? Good question. Thanks, Jessica. What I'll do is I'll just go back on my slides. Oh no, I messed it up and lost everything. Give me 1 sec. I'll share the right slide. All right, play slideshow. There you go. There's the flat file link. Just scan it with your phone. It should take you to the landing page. All right. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. It is, what time is it here? It's basically Chinese New Year, and I live in Asia, so there are fireworks going off everywhere outside my window right now, because we're coming up to the top of the year of the snake. Hey, Chad, any feedback from you? Any questions from you?
No, this was very straightforward. I appreciate you sharing all those free resources as well. It's been great info.
You're very welcome. Always great to share with your audience and do stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now there is a seller that's being suspended, and there's a seller that's getting a policy violation. It's literally happening like every minute.
Yeah.
So this is much needed information that we need to run our business, and I certainly appreciate your support.
Thanks, Chad. All right, thanks everyone for being here. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. And if you do have any issues, feel free to reach out to me, john@sellercandy.com, or reach out to Chad, and we will help you out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.